Hi, Jason Walker, Walker Tea Review. We're coming to you in the springtime, of course, with a Japanese green tea. It is almost time. Japanese greens start to come in around May. It is almost May. It's April 30th, actually, so we're looking forward to that. Japanese green tea. What we have for you today is Adagio's, you get the name correct, Sencha Overture. So I'm going to sprinkle a healthy dose in here, and I'm going to sprinkle out a little bit here so that we can talk about it as well. So a lot of your Japanese greens are, of course, more sensitive, more delicate than a lot of the Chinese greens. So we're going to be very careful with it. We're not going to rinse this time, also because it is a very fine leaf. We don't want to just pour it all out. It could easily spill out. I'm going to set this aside, let that steep for just a few short minutes. As we do, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what we have and set this up so that we can zoom in. Talk about what we have from Adagio. Again, this is their Sencha Overture. A sample size like this goes for $4. Higher than some of their others, but Japanese green teas are generally more complex in their processing and a little more complex in their accessibility. Instructions here, let me turn around for just a moment. Yeah, 180 degrees for 3 minutes is what is the suggested notes here. Okay, so let's talk for just a moment as we're waiting for this. Already got some good color and smell coming out. You know what? I'm tempted to pour this right now. I think I will. What we often see from a Japanese sencha is we expect to kind of, a lot of them that will have, a lot of Japanese greens are known for having a kind of a seaweed element to it. They're known for having a vegetable like a spinach taste as well. Because there's not as much of the process of with the heat, because they often use more steam, they are fixed rather quickly in the steam rather than a slower pan-fried fixing, so that locks in the green. The processing of the Japanese green allows fewer of the nutty and the floral elements to really come out. So what you are left with, or what the result is, are more of your vegetable tastes and a little bit of a citrus, sometimes a lemony type. You also detect a bit of a brothy character. Think like chicken soup, only a lighter broth texture in your mouth. So those are some of the things that we can look for, or that we're going to look for in our cup. Before we do that, of course, we do want to zoom in and look at our leaves. Okay, I'm going to get the paper clip out so that it's a little more obvious. Set that out there. And because it's delicate, we are going to need a little tool to move this around. I have to get the pointy end here to show that we have, with our 1 inch and 1/4 long paper clip, we do have some pieces that are close to 1/2 inch. You see a deep darker green color as well. Okay, you'll get some of the lighter pieces that you'll detect, and that is often the evidence of a little bit of stem. Now you can expect a little stem element in a sencha like this, and the stem can add some of the flavor profile. So not the brightest of green, but also not a sign of a lot of age on it either, at least at this point. We want to look at it. We'll be able, of course, to talk more about the color and the aromas that we have in our cup, to talk about that, to see what the profile is like so far. Okay, I'm going to set this out so that we can also now look a little bit at our cup. Okay, you'll notice, for one thing, it It does have a yellow tinge, but the green element, the green color, is stronger than the yellow. Okay, fairly good color brightness. There's a good kind of a shine to it. It's not a very dull or flat color, so that's a good quality there as well. Now, some things we want to talk about when you talk about a Japanese green like this. This is from tasting this particular tea. It's also from tasting other senchas, and that is preparation and steeping. What you will find is that Japanese greens are generally more delicate, require more attention to detail than a Chinese green. You have to get, it's more of a requirement to have right water temperature, right amount of leaf, and proper amount of steeping time, and to combine those all to get a really good cup. One of the things that you'll note about a Japanese green is, compared to a Chinese green or other greens, you will likely not get as many consistent cups or steeps out of it as well. Generally, you'll even see instructions on some of your senchas that say you can get roughly 2 steeps or 2 cups out of it. So, based on our experience with this in front of us and in previous steepings that we've done with Adagio Sencha, I can tell you that this one is extremely particular in that I went through various changes, modifications of temperature, amount of leaf, steep time to find that right combo, and it was a challenge. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a try and see how we did with this steep time and amount. I'm going to blow on it. One thing you can note is that the aroma has a strong vegetable, like I said, just kind of a spinach element to it. Okay, now this is characteristic of what I've tasted in previous tastings from this one. I didn't allow this one to steep that long. I used a little bit less leaf. I generally like to put in more leaf because I really enjoy flavor and I really like to draw out flavors. But in this particular case, this was a fairly good balance between the amount of leaf and steep time and water temperature, in that it didn't bring out too much bitterness. This one does have a higher content of bitterness, and it did not bring out a significant amount of that kind of creamy element or buttery texture to it that some of them can have. I get some of the vegetal, I get a tinge of the lemon as well, but let me give it another shot. Yeah, I was just looking for something a little bit smoother than this. So, to kind of give this a wrap up, Adagio Sencha Overture, we give it an 84 for several reasons. Because it's easily bittered, or more easily bittered. It's less brothy than I expected. And third, it was hard, like I said, it was that challenge to find, exceptionally challenging, to find that right mix that brought out the best of the leaf. There may be a little bit of age on this leaf, which could mean that a fresher, like I said, a May, June, new Japanese green, new sencha, would be able to present the proper profile more easily, to be able to get to it, draw it out more easily. So, Adagio Sencha Overture, I'm Jason Walker, Walker Tea Review.